For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on.
Why aren't you opening? My computer's not opening to articles.
I think it's open. I think we're sharing the same screen.
Yeah, but
The time is 10 a.m.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning into the Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service. My name is Megan and I'm here with Christina. We invite you to listen to our broadcast both live and on demand. Our live sessions are available on the Blind Community Thrift Store YouTube channel, Monday to Friday between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. each week. Additionally, you can access on-demand content through the Audio Reader Network, which offers a wide range of audio materials for the visually impaired community. To explore content from the Audio Reader Network, please visit www.reader.ku.edu. The site provides details about accessing content via Amazon Alexa, Audio Reader Network mobile app, and information on receiving a radio to listen to the broadcast by KSMU Radio. All broadcasts are played over KSMU's sub-carrier airwaves at 67 kHz on 91.1 from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday. Contact Audio Reader Network for information on receiving a pre-programmed radio. Alrighty. On this day in history, what happened on January 20th? In 2009, Barack Obama is sworn in as the U.S. president. In 1981, the Iran hostage crisis ends. In 1969, the killing of a student activist sets the stage for the Bangladesh Liberation War. Alrighty. Our first article is from Ozarks First. It is titled Stone County Sheriff's Office Searching for Stolen Truck. The Stone County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help in locating a stolen truck on Monday, January 19th.
How the heck do I do that?
Yeah, just like that.
According to a social media post from
Yeah, so,
CSO, the truck was stolen overnight near Crane on Quail Spur Road.
oh, you don't have the mouse.
CSO says anyone who sees the truck should immediately call 911 or the sheriff's office at 417-357-6116. Well, that was a very short article. We're having a bit of technical difficulties at the moment. Just give us one brief pause.
So that little orange mouse, just open that up, and then just make sure it's on that switched, and then just hit hide. And then you have your mouse and she has her.
Alrighty. All right, our next article is from the Springfield News-Leader. It is titled Discover Something New at the Midtown Carnegie Branch Library. It is by Morgan Shannon. There's always something happening at the Midtown Carnegie Branch Library, from creative gatherings to hands-on learning and fresh chances to explore new skills. With both a makerspace and the Library District's Computer Training Center on site, this branch offers a mix of programs and tools you won't find anywhere else. Here's a look at what's coming up and what's available anytime you want to jump in. Book blankets, crochet, and conversation. Oh, that sounds fun. Settle in for a cozy, creative afternoon from 3 to 5 p.m. Tuesday, January 27th in the Makerspace. Bring your current read and crafted granny square inspired by its cover while you chat with fellow crocheters. All skill levels are welcome and materials are provided. Teens tour the Makerspace. Teens ages 12 through 18 can get an inside look at the Makerspace from 3 to 5 p.m. Friday, January 30th. Start in the teen room, then we'll head downstairs to explore the machines and learn how to use them by creating a button, bookmark, and a sticker to take home. National Seed Swap Day. Celebrate National Seed Swap Day from 1 to 3 p.m. Saturday, January 31st. Bring seeds of any kind to trade with other gardeners, or join the fun even if you don't have seeds to share. Kids can stop by the teen room to make a craft, and materials will also be provided. You can also check out the Makerspace during Open Studio. If you're curious about creating, just drop by the Open Studio on Wednesdays from 1 to 5 p.m. or Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for ages 12 and older. It's perfect for first-time tours, last-minute projects, and creatives who already have a little experience using Makerspace equipment. Staff will be available to help troubleshoot, and equipment is first come, first served. And the last event is Explore One-on-One Computer Help and more. The Midtown Carnegie branch is also home to the library's Computer Training Center, where you can schedule individualized technology help. Just call 417-837-5011 to reserve an hour with a staff member. We can help with specific questions about using your tablet or smartphone, creating and using an email account, getting started with Microsoft Office products, and much more. Just please have your specific questions in mind when you make your appointment. Morgan Shannon is a copywriter for the Springfield Greene County Library District. She can be reached at morgans@thelibrary.org.
All right, we've got 417 Magazine, 417 Story Studio, Inside Ozarks Huckabella Boutique by Taryn Shore McKee. We have a picture of the owner, Sarah Huck, in a fashionable denim shirt with bows in the front and a charm necklace, kind of like a charm bracelet, but a necklace, and her fashionable boutique behind her. What started as a small boutique in 2016 has grown into a beloved shopping destination in 417 land, and last August, owner Sarah Huck bought the building too. Huck says the process couldn't have gone any smoother when the opportunity arose to purchase the property that houses Huckabella Boutique. My landlord wanted us to have the building, she says. He was patient with us every step of the way and helped us as best as he could. Owning the space hasn't dramatically changed the day-to-day yet. Huck jokes that even after closing, nothing really changed. We didn't even have to exchange keys. Still, she plans to make gradual updates and possibly remodel in the future. The real difference, she shares, is the sense of stability and ownership that comes with knowing Huckabella has a permanent home. When I opened Huckabella, my 5-year plan was to keep growing as long as the Lord allowed. I didn't necessarily have a goal, but getting to hire employees so I could be a full-time stay-at-home mom is something I am beyond thankful for. We have a picture of some of the jewelry in her boutique set up in a frame to display it, and also a mannequin with a hat, sweatshirt, and over-the-shoulder bag. The acquisition gave Huck room to grow in other ways. Huckabella has long been known for its mix of styles and vendors, what the boutique calls all the styles we love for you. Recently, she expanded that lineup further. Events like the Spring Open House, Back to School Bash, and Fall and Christmas Open Houses have become annual traditions. We started adding pop-up vendors outside during these events, and we don't charge anything for them to be here, Huck says. We just want to give these small businesses an opportunity to get their name out there, and our community more opportunity to shop local. That's really cool. Shoppers even earn Huck Bucks, which function like store credit with these pop-ups when they spend a certain amount in-store during events. This small incentive reinforces Huck's goal of community connection over competition. We love being able to support local charities and events when we can, she states. We also love carrying things we know our community loves, like Ozarks-specific gear, Chiefs gear, and Christian or faith-based items. Faith is woven through everything at Huckabella, from the merchandise to the mindset. Our Christian and faith-based products represent what we're all about, Huck says. We're a Christian-owned business, and we love the freedom we have to let His light shine in our community as best we can. That humility that runs so deep comes with a lighthearted sense of humor. Now, when the roof leaks, the toilet stops working, or the air conditioning or heat goes out, it's all our problem now, Huck laughs. But as you may expect, even that's said with gratitude. Huck sees the building purchase as a reminder to stay grounded. In the past, we toyed around with a second location, but now that we have the building, we are content with what God has provided for us, she says. We just want to continue to be good stewards and run this business as long as He wills. As for the shop's name, Huckabella, my former partner who I started the business with in 2016 came up with it on the spot, and I loved how unique it was, Huck shares. Nearly a decade later, that spontaneous name now graces a thriving boutique and community hub, a testament to faith, hard work, and small-town support that keeps multiplying. 3 things we can confidently say the Ozarks are darn good at. And then we have another picture of her boutique with lots of different clothing items and different styles for women's and ladies' clothing, and a picture of Sarah in front of her sign, Huckabella Boutique and Marketplace, on a black porch swing. Photos by Katie St. Clair.
Alrighty. Our next story comes from Ozarks First, and it is titled Parade Festival Take Place on Martin Luther King Day. It is by Michael McLaughlin. Several events were held in Springfield to honor the life and legacy of Martin Luther King Jr., starting with the MLK Day Parade. The parade, which took place yesterday morning, featured a walk across the local bridge symbolizing unity and remembrance. Kai Sutton, the president of the NAACP's Springfield chapter, emphasized the importance of the march and the holiday, particularly within the African American community. Raised on my great-grandmother and hearing her stories about struggle from the Deep South and the things that she'd gone through is a huge part of my purpose, said Sutton. Despite cold conditions, hundreds came out to show their support. We need that more than ever in these challenging times, said Vice President Kyler Sherman Wilkins. So I think seeing people come out, hearing, weathering the cold, it's really inspiring and inspirational. Later in the day, the annual Multicultural Festival was held in the Oasis Convention Center, which showcased various cultural traditions and emphasized unity among communities. It's wonderful, said Jill Creston, who has attended several times. You run into people that you know and also people that you don't know, so it's a great time to mix, get acquainted, and enjoy the festivities. It's good because people get informed about that culture, which is great for everybody, said Merlin Lynchpog, who attended the festival for the first time. You can get to know them better and you can communicate. Maybe you can learn a word or two from their language. The festival is seen as a way to continue Dr. King's message of togetherness. There's just so many good hearts. So many people are open and willing to get to know other cultures, expressed Amy Knox, and we're really the same in all honesty. It's really important. At the same time as the festival, Springfield's Boys and Girls Club organized several educational activities for children, ensuring that young people also engage with Dr. King's legacy through learning opportunities. I was there yesterday, and it was a really great event.
Still on 417 Story Studio, Things to Do in Winter in Southwest Missouri by Katie Pollux Estes. When all signs point to a big-time snow in the Ozarks, we make plans to enjoy it. Back at the very start of winter, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration hinted that this could be an especially snow-filled season in the Ozarks, with productive storms dropping carpets of white over the region. Even the persimmon seeds were on board with spoon-shaped inner seeds this year that, according to folklore, indicate that we'll be doing a lot of snow shoveling. Of course, time will tell if any of these predictions come true, but just in case our winter is a wild one, we've got you covered with ways to make the most of every moment. Warm your hands by the fire. Several local restaurants and attractions offer indoor fireplaces where you can sit and enjoy a drink or read a book to get a break from the nip in the air. Pictured is a nice cup of looks like hot cocoa with whipped cream on top. Warm and relaxed. The workshop at Finley Farms, 840 Finley Farms Lane, Ozark, Missouri. The excellent coffee and loaded toasts are enough to love here, but we get so much more. An airy atmosphere, a cozy fireplace, and tons of natural light for picture-perfect snaps. Vibe check? The camera eats first. Fresh and new. We have the Table at 610 North Prospect Avenue in Springfield. The Table hasn't been here long, but its anticipated opening has been the talk of the town. The interior is lovely with a perfectly toasty freestanding fireplace in the center of the dining room. Vibe check? Answering yes to have you been there yet? Retro and modern. The Ozarker Lodge at 995 Historic Highway 165 in Branson. We're still swooning over the whole entire vibe at the Ozarker Lodge in Branson, with its mid-century modern makeover and the 360-degree fireplace that serves as the centerpiece. Vibe check? An après-ski moment in the Ozarks. Chic and easy, the Hotel Vandevort, 305 East Walnut in Springfield. We love that Hotel Vandevort is an easy night out that feels big city chic. Grab a Walnut Street smash cocktail at the bar, then sip it beside the fireplace as the prelude to your night out. Vibe check, you, your date, and main character energy. Big and grand. Top of the Rock, 150 Top of the Rock Road in Ridgedale, Missouri. There are 31 fireplaces at Top of the Rock, and every single one of them invites you to slow down and warm up beside the roaring flames. Many of them come with a side of lake views. Vibe check? Taking it slow because you can. Rustic and cozy, the Keeter Center, 1 Opportunity Avenue, Point Lookout. After you eat dinner at the Keeter Center, don't rush back to your car right away. Beeline for the creamery. Order an ice cream cone and then enjoy it in front of the massive 2-story fireplace. Vibe check, a comfy living room, but better. Igloos are having a moment. Local beer and cocktail hotspots have incorporated heated igloos into their outdoor patio spaces for outdoor dining that feels charmingly cozy all year long. The OG igloos are at Vantage Rooftop Lounge and Conservatory on 260 East McDaniel Street in Springfield. For as long as it's been open, Vantage Rooftop Lounge and Conservatory, located at the top of Hotel Vandevort, has been one of the prettiest places to sit outside and sip a drink, thanks to that sweeping skyline view. We love that you can experience that same effect in the winter by dining in one of our heated igloos that block the chill. Just make sure you reserve it before you go. These charming igloos tend to sell out. Order this, hot cocoa service for your sweet tooth or cheese fondue for a hands-on savory treat. The New Guys, Wire Road Brewing Company at 4453 South Timber Creek Avenue in Battlefield. New this year, Wired Road Brewing Company has added 3 heated igloos to their expansive outdoor space, each with its own theme. The Boss Babe Igloo features lots of glittering sequins and lots of pink. The Limestone Cowboy Igloo features a more rugged western theme. And the Gilligan's Island Igloo is all about the island vibes, which honestly sounds super fun on a cold wintry day. Order this, a glass of Dream Spinner, their Dunkel German dark lager. Cozy by the river, Rivers Bend Family Resort. Head west to Joplin for an igloo experience that features a view of Shoal Creek. Oops. And we're not talking an off in the distance view. The igloos are right up against the river's edge on an elevated deck. While Rivers Bend Family Resort is mainly a spot for camping, they also offer a full-service restaurant with heated igloos on the deck that can hold up to 12 people. They can be rented in 90-minute blocks. Order this, the Rivers Bend Philly sandwich or the pimento cheese dip with a drizzle of spicy honey. Is it getting hot in here? Heat up your winter with hot yoga. Look, I enjoy a hard workout. I don't mind when my muscles burn or I feel absolutely spent at the end of a heart-pumping activity, but I really, really hate feeling hot. Sweating makes me want to jump in a river. Hot yoga is an activity I've never once in my life been tempted to try, but when the 417 team was brainstorming content for this feature, hot yoga came up again and again. I heard my coworkers tell me how much they love the warm, hot, hellish hug that blazing warm room. I simply could not imagine something like that being pleasant. My plan was to tell readers about local hot yoga studios so you could go try them for yourself. Then I realized that would be lazy. I needed to try it too. So I headed out to Pure Hot Yoga to be a good little reporter for you. To ease into this new-to-me activity, I signed up for their Gentle Candlelight Flow class. This was strategic. The word gentle appealed to my inner wimp, and the word candlelight implied darkness, which would be relaxing, right? I arrived with my mat and my courage and found a spot inside the studio that was heated to more than 90 degrees with a hefty dose of humidity. The room was indeed dark, with flameless candles lining the walls for a comforting and cozy glow. The class's instructor, with her kind and calm voice, led us through the gentlest flow I have ever experienced. It was deeply restorative, with slow movements that felt beautifully meditative. Somehow it felt more like a massage than a workout, and I mean that in the best way. I didn't know it before I arrived, but it was just what I needed after a long day. I did indeed sweat. I did not, as expected, enjoy that part. But I have to admit that the heat in the room felt therapeutic, and dare I say it, pleasant. This is the part where I eat crow and admit that I was wrong about hot yoga. I'm not sure a tougher class would be the best fit for me. I still would prefer to work out in a cool room. But for a relaxing and restorative experience, it was honestly so lovely. If you've been afraid to give hot yoga a try like I was, take this as your sign to take the sweaty plunge. You might find your new favorite winter warm-up. Below are a few places you can try hot yoga for yourself. Pure Hot Yoga, 3938 South Lone Pine Avenue in Springfield. Drop-ins are $20. Memberships start at $78 per month. Summits Yoga, 2680 South Glenstone Avenue in Springfield. Drop-ins are $25. Memberships start at $75 per month. My Hot Yoga, 3014 East Sunshine Street, Suite C and D in Springfield. Drop-ins are $15. Memberships start at $99 per month. And then we have two images, one of an indoor sand volleyball pit and another of an indoor climbing gym. Get that heart pumping with these indoor activities. Sometimes the best way to shake off the chill is to move around, like a lot. Pick one of these year-round indoor sports and go have some fun. There's indoor climbing at the Zenith Climbing Center, 3534 East Sunshine Street. Even if you don't see yourself scrambling up rocks out in the wild, by practicing rock climbing is a whole lot of fun and can be a pretty intense workout. In Springfield, you can get your fix at Zenith Climbing Center. There you can snap into an auto belay, which allows you to climb solo, or bring a friend and learn to belay together. Either way, the climbing walls are set up to support just about every skill level. And there's even a kids area in case you need a place to bring your critters to climb off some pent-up energy. Ice skating at Brightspeed Ice Park, 635 East Traffic Way in Springfield. Although Brightspeed Ice Park is open year-round, ice skating feels like such a quintessentially wintry activity. Strap on some skates and see if you're up for a triple Lutz. Play pickleball, Classics Yard, 1900 West Sunset Street. Pickleball is still going strong in the Ozarks, and there are plenty of places to play both indoors and out. Classics Yard, located at Classic Rock Coffee in Springfield, is a great option because in addition to providing pickleball courts where you can engage in a little friendly competition with your friends, they also offer other games and plenty of coffee and snacks too. There's indoor volleyball at Volleyball Beach in Ozark. At 1198 State Highway NN in Ozark, there are 10 indoor beach volleyball courts where you can feel the warm sand between your toes without having to travel beyond Ozark. They offer both leagues and open play. After you finish with volleyball, pop inside for some cocktails, pizza, wings, and other snacks. I had no idea we had an indoor volleyball place. Treat yourself to a spa day. Local spa treatments are excellent warm-ups on a chilly day. Find the perfect one for you. You have a classic spa experience of hot rock massage at New Essence Spa, massage with paraffin treatment at Big Cedar Lodge's Cedar Creek Spa, Finnish sauna at the Theta Wellness, a place to breathe deeply, eucalyptus steam shower at Acacia Spa, halotherapy at Breathe Health Spa, and something unexpected is zero body dry float at Counter Negative. A counter pod, which is heat, vibration, and red light therapy at Below Zero Cryotherapy Spa. A Vichy Gold experience at Grove Spa. Guests can enjoy a sugar scrub combined with a warm water massage from shower heads that treat your body's trigger points. And the perfect Higgy accessory DIY. You have likely heard the term Higgy thrown around, and if you haven't, you're about to. It's a Scandinavian term that describes a lifestyle built around the feeling of warm contentment and well-being, and it's often associated with the idea of cozying up at home in a space tailor-made and comfort-filled with simple pleasures. That could mean making sure there's always the softest blanket within arm's reach of your favorite reading chair, or filling your home with soft and warm lighting, or intentionally slowing down to enjoy your morning tea. In my opinion, Higgy is the perfect attitude to adopt during the Ozarks' chilliest months. If you have to hunker down instead, you might as well do it in a space that's made for comfort and joy. Adding candlelight to your space is one way to achieve this, and there's a local shop where you can actually create your own hand-poured candle from scratch. At Lumi Candle Bar in downtown Springfield, you can choose an aesthetically pleasing vessel, then browse more than 5 dozen fragrances to choose from, or blend, to add to your candle. After that, you get to hand-pour the wax yourself. Once you have your candle, pop over to the Story House bookstore just down the road on 1150 East Walnut Street to pick out a new book and take home. Then that's all that's left is to cozy down and feel good.
Alrighty. Our next article comes from Springfield Business Journal. It is titled O'Reilly Automotive Sued Over 401k Forfeitures. And we have a picture of the O'Reilly Automotive building, which is based in Springfield, their corporate offices, on a nice cloudy day. And this article is by the SBJ staff. And it was last edited at 3:41 p.m. yesterday. And the editor's note is a statement from the company has been added. Springfield-based auto parts retailer O'Reilly Automotive, Inc., NASDAQ ORLY, has been sued in federal court by a former employee who alleges misuse of 401k forfeitures. Plaintiff Tracy Patton, who was a participant in the company's 401k plan during her tenure with the company, is seeking class action status in the lawsuit that alleges O'Reilly Automotive has violated the Employee Retirement Income Security Act by using forfeitures from departing employees to offset the company's required matching contributions, rather than covering plan expenses for participants. There are 6 counts listed in the lawsuit, which was filed January 15th in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Missouri's Southern Division in Springfield. An O'Reilly Automotive spokesperson provided a statement on behalf of the company. O'Reilly administers its 401k plan in accordance with the law and the terms of the plan, the statement reads. O'Reilly's investment committee, which is made of team members who take their responsibility seriously and also are personally invested in the company's 401k plan, make decisions, including those that require the use of discretion, in a manner that is in the best interest of the plan participants. In the lawsuit, O'Reilly Automotive is accused of allegedly applying more than $24.1 million in planned forfeitures from 2019 to 2024 to offset its required matching contribution obligations and using $46,000 to defray plan expenses. According to the lawsuit, plan participants paid roughly $14.3 million in plan expenses during that time. Instead of prudently and loyally evaluating how to allocate plan expenses and best deploy plan assets that had been forfeited by departing plan participants, defendants instead reflexively and inclusively used those forfeitures to benefit the company to the detriment of the plan and its participants. The lawsuit reads, in the third quarter, O'Reilly Automotive reported net income of $725.9 million, a 9.1% increase from $665.5 million a year earlier. Third quarter revenue was $4.7 billion, a 7.8% jump according to past reporting. ORLY shares closed January 16th at $94.70, which compares with a 52-week range of $82.04 to $108.72 per share.
In the SBJ, We have Republic hires high school principal as next assistant superintendent. Pictured is John Thompson, principal of Republic High School, and he is wearing a tan suit with a tie that is in the colors of the Republic School of gray, orange, and black. And he is a tidy haircut with a light goatee. Let's see. We have this article by Claudette Riley, posted online January 19th. John Thompson, principal of Republic High School, has been promoted to a top district leadership position. The school board voted January 15th to hire Thompson as assistant superintendent of academic services. He will replace Tyler Overstreet, who will become superintendent after the retirement of Matt Pierce. The new roles start July 1st. Thompson, high school principal since 2020, will oversee human resources and academic services, including curriculum, instruction, assessment, and continuous improvement efforts in the central office job. Dr. Thompson leads with relationships at the center of his work and is deeply committed to building a culture that supports strong teaching and learning, said Overstreet in a news release. He is a reflective, intentional, and visionary leader who brings a strategic mindset to aligning people, systems, and purpose. I am confident his leadership will strengthen our academic work as we build on the strong foundation already in place across our district. Thompson, who has a doctorate in educational administration from Lindenwood University, spent 11 years as a science teacher and coach in Springfield's Parkview High School. He's also worked as an assistant principal and athletic director. His salary will be $145,000. In this new role, I look forward to strengthening relationships and leading through service as we continue working together in support of student learning, Thompson said in the release. We truly have the best students, families, and employees working together to fulfill our mission of preparing each student for future excellence through a safe educational environment. With the hiring, the district is searching for a new high school principal.
Alrighty, our next article is from Springfield Daily Citizen. It is a very recent article, just updated 22 minutes ago by Steve Pokin. The police report a fatal crash on Highway 65 in Springfield. And we have a picture of northbound traffic on Highway 65 just north of Division. It is blocked due to a fatal crash this morning. Springfield police report a fatal vehicle crash on northbound Highway 65 near Division Street and have advised drivers to avoid northbound Highway 65. The fatal crash information was posted on the Springfield Police Department's Facebook page at about 9:11 a.m. Tuesday, January 20th. All northbound traffic is being diverted at Chestnut Expressway. Southbound traffic is not impacted. Police are asking drivers to divert early off of northbound Highway 65 to James River or to Glenstone Avenue if traveling north. Sending prayers to the family.
Neighbors, Valiant Group explore possible plan for Sunshine and National by Karen Craig. A meeting between the University Heights Neighborhood Association and representatives of the Valiant Group Development Company January 13th explored new possibilities for the contested northwest corner of Sunshine Street and National Avenue. Valiant Group owner Josh Manning is exploring the possibility of buying parcels currently owned by development company BK&M LLC. The parcels are zoned single-family residential despite multiple attempts by BK&M to effect a change in their zoning designation, and they cover 2.6 acres of ground. And pictured is Josh Manning, and under the headline is Josh Manning won't commit to property without a rezoning. He is short hair with a large red beard. Manning and Valiant Group's architect Nick Shirk held the initial meeting with the University Heights resident and its neighborhood association leadership in an attempt to open dialogue about what could be done on the corner in the event of a Valiant Group purchase. Maggie Castry, UHNA president, said in a phone call with Springfield Business Journal the next morning that the meeting went well. This was a first meeting, a meet and greet, and they seemed like very nice men, she said. They seemed candid and open. Castry said the two wanted to know what neighbors thought and wanted for the corner. The neighbors told them, she said, we've had a lot of practice by now. Manning, too, thought the meeting was positive. We haven't made any financial commitments, but we are motivated, and we feel good about last night's meeting, he told SBJ by phone. The neighbors are very fair, open, and transparent. It wasn't ugly, and there was a very good back-and-forth conversation. Manning told Springfield Business Journal in a January 9 interview that he is not interested in a hotel for the corner, and he is also not interested in mixed-use commercial development, favoring instead the kinds of residential development he has done elsewhere in the city. Ideas he outlined to SBJ included townhomes or a multifamily development. He said he feels eager to put something together that would show neighbors what might be possible on the corner and see if there is common ground. After last night's meeting, I feel comfortable moving forward and looking further at designs that the neighbors could look at, he said. He said he would also continue to negotiate with the current ownership. BK&M's principal is Ralph Duda. Discussion. At the meeting, neighbors outlined some deal breakers, including entry or exit of traffic on University Street or amassing of buildings that would overshadow homes sharing a property line. Castry said neighbors were concerned that homes had not yet been demolished by BK&M would be demolished, and she said Manning confirmed that if development by Valiant Group were to move forward, they would. Castry said there is not consensus among neighbors about what the next step should be. We have a lot of opinions in the neighborhood, and they do not all match, she said. We've always had a lot of questions and concerns, and all of those still stand. But Castry said the meeting have a good sense of who the Valiant Group representatives area and how they want to present themselves. Lawsuit impact. Castry said the Neighborhood Association is standing in solidarity with its resident families that are party to a lawsuit seeking to maintain the corner zoning as a single-family residential. That lawsuit is in the appeal phase, with neighbors having lost their initial suit in a June 2024 ruling by Greene County Circuit Court Judge Derek Ankrum. The appeal was to have had oral arguments on January 27, but the court docket shows that the date has been stricken by court order due to schedule conflicts. The docket does not yet show a date for a rescheduled hearing. Castry said some of the neighbors made it clear that they did not want multifamily development, which he said leaves open the possibility of townhomes. Castry said an issue for further development is the investment made by BK&M and Duda. The issue is Mr. Duda paid too much and refuses to lose a penny, Castry said. He wants to be made whole. He has told us that he had a lot of money in it, and he has to get it all back. That makes a very high starting price for anybody who wants to do something there. Duda did not respond to a request for comment on this story. Manning said he would not make a financial commitment until after the lawsuit appeal is settled. If the decision is overturned, then single family is unfortunately not something that would work for us on that development, so we would have to pass at that time, he said. He said neighbors pressed him for a number of units he would need to make the project viable, and he said at minimum it would probably have to be 60 units. I'd like to try to do a townhome development, kind of an extension of the neighborhood, he said. Our goal would be to make it feel like it's University Heights, but in a multi-unit townhome. It wouldn't be anything crazy, it would fit the corner well and meet the aesthetics of the neighborhood. He added that this is a gut feeling. No designs have been drawn up. We have other projects we've worked on with this similar kind of feel on less acreage with more units, so I know it can be done, but we won't know for sure until we get into it, he said. Manning said his message to the neighborhood was that he wants the project to be something they like. I want it to be something they're excited about, he said. City involvement. Manning told SBJ in previous reporting that a Springfield City Council member made the connection between BK&M and Valiant Group. Reached for comment, Mayor Jeff Schrag said that he was not the person who made the connection, and he added he knows only what he has read in the media. His reaction to the possibility of a deal was guarded optimism. Valiant has a good reputation, and it's an important corner, Schrag said. I'm excited to see something good happen there if it happens. Castry said the issue has been active for about 45 months, with difficult relations between BK&M and the neighborhood. I think that City Council wants the problem to go away. Everyone wants it to go away, she said. Clearly, by telling Mr. Manning to talk to us, they want us to compromise and abandon our desire to have our neighborhood continue to be single-family residential. I have not run into anybody that's happy about that. She added that she can't see into the future, and she cannot predict how the appeal will pan out. I do not know what Valiant's proposal would look like and how it would hit the neighbors, she said. There's a whole big mass of unknown still, and that's a cloud hanging over us.
Alrighty. Our next article comes from Springfield Daily Citizen. It is by Jackie Rewald. The Willard community rallies to support police chief in need of double lung transplant. Police Chief Tom McLean needs a life-saving double lung transplant. A talent show fundraiser will be Friday, January 23rd. And we have a picture of the Willard officers with Police Chief Tom McLean. They look like a happy group that really cares about each other. The Willard community is coming together to show support and raise funds for its longtime police chief, Tom McLean, who needs a life-saving double lung transplant. So far, the community has raised more than $19,000 to assist with out-of-pocket expenses. McLean was diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis, a serious and progressive lung disease, according to a news release from Help Hope Live. The news release says the transplant will require at least 3 months of medical relocation for the procedure and recovery, as well as full-time caregiving and time off from work. The goal for the fundraising effort is $30,000. We now have a photo of Willard Police Chief Tom McLean. It looks like he is speaking, and he is next to the American flag. Tax-deductible donations can be made through the nonprofit Help Hope Live on their website. In addition to online donations, an upcoming talent show fundraiser will be held from 7 to 9 p.m. Friday, January 23rd at the Black Box Theater at Willard Middle School at 205 Miller Road. Admission is $10 and you can buy tickets at the door. For information about the talent show, call Emily Elliott at 417-849-5058. Troy Smith, mayor of Willard, said the community of Willard has rallied in support of Chief McLean. He has dedicated 30 years of his life to serving our community, Smith told the Daily Citizen. So this is our time to support him in his time of need, and that is exactly what we intend on doing. McLean got his start in law enforcement in Oregon. He relocated to Willard and started out in a patrol position. He began serving as Willard's chief of police in 1993. After 32 years of service, Tom's impact on the community is immeasurable. The Help Hope Live release states, beyond the badge, he has led camp and character programs that have impacted hundreds of youth's lives, runs a DARE program to support healthy choices for students, assisted families in need through the annual Shop with a Cop holiday program, and much more. And now we have a photo of Willard Police Chief Tom McLean and his wife Elizabeth McLean. It looks like they went to a pumpkin patch of some sorts because there's a bunch of pumpkins in the background. They look very happy. McLean is a husband, father of 2, and grandfather of 5. He is also a pastor at Rose Hill Baptist Church. Initially, I was distraught and in denial about the diagnosis, McLean said in the release, but today I can say I am fully committed to preparing for this transplant. I still have goals at the police department, so I am single-minded about giving my all to this process and getting back to work. McLean is expected to join the waiting list for a double lung transplant as early as January or February 2026. Jackie Rewald is a reporter at the Springfield Daily Citizen. She covers public safety, the courts, homelessness, domestic violence, and other social issues. Her office line is 417-837-3659.
My screen just changed on me, so give me a second. It suddenly went large. Sharing the computers is just causing issues today, but we're okay. We'll make it work. All right, so we've got a picture of Springfield Plaza Center area near West Sunshine, and it looks like Zimmer Avenue. And looks like Expressway, I'm guessing Kansas Expressway. Residential development is planned for a currently vacant lot at Springfield Plaza on the city's west end. Apartments eyed for the Springfield Plaza site by Karen Crego, reporter. Her email is kcraigo@sbj.net. The Springfield Planning and Zoning Commission approved the rezoning of 18 acres of undeveloped land at the Springfield Plaza site at its January 15th meeting. The commission approved the rezoning of 18 acres of property at 2000 South McCurry Avenue to medium-density, multifamily residential with a conditional overlay from a planned development. The applicant, Springfield Plaza LLC, intends to build multifamily housing on the currently undeveloped land. Plans submitted to P&Z call for 23-story apartment buildings with a total of 421 residential units consisting primarily of 1- and 2-bedroom apartments. Sparlin said the conditional overlay district limits developments to 24 dwelling units per acre, though 28 are typically permitted in the requested zone. The applicant would be required to have 3 amenities for residents: a swimming pool, a resident clubhouse, and sport courts. Daniel Richards of Lee Engineering and Associates, Inc. spoke on behalf of the developer, whom he identified as a builder out of Northwest Arkansas that has been active for the last few years. They're seeking to rezone this property and build some apartments for Springfield, he said. Springfield Plaza, LLC is registered with the Missouri Secretary of State to Tim O'Reilly of 4045 East Sunshine Street, the building that houses Spokes Hospitality, LLC, and O'Reilly Hospitality Management, LLC. Springfield Plaza is located across West Bypass from the Sunshine Town Center. So I had that wrong. It's over across West Bypass and besides a Walmart Supercenter. According to past Springfield Business Journal reporting, the commercial property is anchored by Ross Dress for Less, Burlington, and Michaels, and is co-developed by Tom Rankin of SVN Rankin Company. In a June 2025 interview with SBJ, Rankin said of the area, retail follows rooftops. That area, when we started, had probably the highest concentration of new housing permits than any other part of the county. He said at the time that less than half of the potential 106 acres of Springfield Plaza had been developed at the time. A city council hearing is set for February 9th. The commission included 3 new faces, with Jennifer McClure, Christopher Soulier, and David Jacquez, replacing Betty Ridge, Christopher Liebeck, and Bruce Colony, whose terms expired. Members of the commission are appointed by Springfield City Council to 4-year terms. Randall Donig was reelected as chair of the commission, and Dan Scott was reelected as vice chair. Airport property. Parcels totaling 726 acres of property near the Springfield Branson National Airport were unanimously approved for rezoning to heavy manufacturing from a county designation of agricultural. The applicant was the City of Springfield's Airport Board. The city's zoning code does not offer an agricultural designation, according to the staff report by senior planner Michael Sparlin. The property is described as being generally located to the north and southwest of the existing airport. Addresses are 2300 North Airport Boulevard, 5703 and 5995 West Farm Road 104, 3521 North Farm Road 115, 4043 North Willard Road, the 3900 block of North Farm Road 103, 4720 West State Highway EE, and the 5700 block of West State Highway EE. Sparlin said the rezoning consolidates all airport property under one code, with airport operations as the primary use. He said the airport's master code was adopted in July 2024. A rendering submitted to the commission shows a new runway as a plan for the future, but Director of Aviation Brian Wheeler described that as a plan for the distant future. We really have no specific immediate development that is spurring this, Wheeler said. We've owned most of this land for decades. We would like it all to be consistent. He said the runway and vision for the property has been in the airport's master plan since 1971. We tend to plan out many decades ahead, he said. You need to do that for the airport because we're the airport and we're going to be serving this area for likely the next century or so we really can't own too much land. So we buy it, we protect it, but it is for future aeronautical development. The owner of adjoining property at 6220 West Farm Road 94 raised a concern about the shift from agriculture to heavy industrial. He suggested that the city offer an agricultural zoning designation to avoid the big change in the nature of the property. In the future, we have no way to change or correct this, he said. A city council hearing is set for February 9th. So if you want to chime in on this, that's when you show up. Other action items, the commission approved the rezoning of a half-acre property in the 1100 block of East Elm Street to renovate the New Way apartment unit located beside Andy's Frozen Custard to general retail with conditional overlay from high-density multifamily. The conditional overlay limits the property to residential uses, despite the general retail designation. The measure is scheduled to appear before City Council February 9th. A request to approve rezoning of a half-acre property at 3005 West Chestnut Expressway to industrial commercial from general manufacturing was approved for applicant ABC Supply Company, Inc., which seeks to operate retail sales uses on the property. The commission approved a subdivision variance to combine 2 driveways into a 26-foot wide entrance with one-way access from Jefferson Avenue as requested by SPFLD Re Holdings LLC and Sister Properties LLC. The entrance will facilitate a bank drive-through and a bypass lane to go around the drive-through, according to Jack Meadows of engineering company Archer Elgin. The drivers currently in place serve 334 East Walnut Street and 417 South Jefferson Avenue. A street name change for the 200 block of East to the 400 block of West Blaine Street to Blaine Lane as requested by the Commercial Club of Springfield and directed to P&Z by City Council. Mary Collette, president of the Commercial Club, explained that the street name change is part of a rebranding effort for the area. Sometimes it's the little things that make a street stand out, she said. Eric Pauley praised the community effort behind the move. Commissioner Helen Gunther cast the sole no vote in the 8-1 recommendation after confirming that the city would have to pay for the expenses of the name change. A short-term rental appeal was denied for 1618 East Adams Street. Gunther and McClure cast the sole yes votes.
Alrighty. Today is also International Day of Acceptance, and it is devoted to bringing about the social acceptance of disability and carries on the spirit of Annie Hopkins. Growing up, Annie viewed the world around her as putting limits on what she could do and who she could become, and she saw people with disabilities like herself as facing discrimination. She realized the expectations people had for her didn't include her living alone or pursuing higher education, and she knew that strangers who passed her by thought more about her disability and her life expectancy than they did of her as a person. As Annie matured, she pushed the boundaries of what was expected of her. She won talent shows in high school and forced the hand of her college campus to build ramps at 40 sorority houses so that she could participate in Rush Week. After college, she created YouTube videos that were educational yet brimming humor, which highlighted how she took on her challenges. In 2007, along with her brother Stevie, she started 3E Love, a business designed to educate, embrace, and empower people. She also created the wheelchair heart symbol, which is meant to unite people of all abilities and start conversations that help change attitudes. On January 20th, 2009, Annie passed away from complications during a simple medical procedure. Her brother continued her work in her honor. International Day of Acceptance was first held in 2010 on the first anniversary of Annie's death. Instead of being a day of mourning, the yearly event became a day that exemplifies Annie's message of empowerment and love of life, and a day that focuses on the acceptance of disabilities. Her wheelchair heart symbol was used around the world, with people displaying it on homemade posters and posting it on social media, and exhibiting it on t-shirts, stickers, and temporary tattoos. It continues to be a symbol of acceptance today, and people continue to spread the message of acceptance around the world. And here are a few ways you can observe International Day of Acceptance. You can spread the word about the holiday online, inviting others to participate. On social media platforms such as Twitter or Facebook, change your profile picture or cover photo and use the hashtag Day of Acceptance. Include a caption in your post that outlines what acceptance means to you and why you are celebrating. You could also do this in your journal. You can wear an official t-shirt for the day, put up a yard sign, or give out buttons, bracelets, tattoos, or stickers that are dedicated to the day and showcase the wheelchair heart symbol. And that can be located on the website with her brother she created, 3E Love. You can organize a party or dinner and start the conversation about acceptance and convince others to get involved with the day and its goals. Tell attendees to wear something with the wheelchair heart symbol or provide tattoos, stickers, and bracelets for your guests. And you can give a presentation at work or school. And Stevie and the folks at 3E Love have said this about the day, which you can reflect on as you decide how you will observe it. Tell the world you embrace who you are a person with social rights who has an opinion, who has interests, who has goals, and who loves life. You are a person who is empowered to make a difference in the world and will not be without a voice in society. You are not living disabled. You are living.
Oh, I could jump over to this one. I was kind of interested in this one anyway. All right, and we're switching articles here, so give us a second. Answer Man. Reader says someone is spending a lot of effort fixing up old building on North Grant. Who? By Steve Pokin. Reader wants to know who's been fixing up this building. It looks almost like an abandoned building, but it's brick all the way around with some nice archways above some long windows, big glowing windows. Here at 1306 North Grant. And the building was constructed originally in 1906. Answer man, there has been a lot of construction remodeling going on for what seems like a few years at 1306 North Grant Avenue. It looks like it might be close to being finished. Someone has put a lot of time and money into this old building, which is in an odd location in the middle of a neighborhood. Any interest in looking into what's going on? Says Scott Martin of Springfield. It's a workshop for a husband and wife, Mick and Paige Whitecomb, who bought the building in February 22. Mick is an artist. It was constructed in 1906. The couple lives nearby in an old home they renovated. We feel strongly about improving historic buildings in the community, Mick tells me. The building was just in a state of disrepair, and we wanted to improve it and make it something that was a bit more attractive for the community. We work on it when we can. It is not a business space. He sells his art at fine art shows across the country, and it is beautifully decorated on the inside with some deep wooden tables, some beautiful chandeliers up top with some modern light bulbs that are the modern that look old light bulbs, and against the beautiful backdrop of the window and his art pieces inside, and a huge wooden hutch. This is what the interior of the building looks like, says the photo. I asked him about the little stage and drum set I saw. It's not an entertainment space open to the public either, he says. We have different family members that are musicians, he says. It's a multi-purpose space where we can work on creative things, and friends and family can come by and kind of share in that. Oh dear, there we go. Half a trolley car purchased in Memphis. Since buying the building, the couple has added a small extension at the rear. It is the front end of a trolley car coming out of the wall. We do an art show in Memphis, a city that we really love, he says. We had the opportunity to buy one of their old trolley cars that went back to the turn of the century, and we kind of recreated it for additional showroom. And they have it plugged into an arched doorway of the brick. And it is a yellow and green old trolley car. The Whitecombs just bought one half of it in Memphis and installed it in the work studio. They just ripped the car in half, and I would imagine somebody else has the rear half of the car, he says. He works a lot with old manual typewriters. His art focuses on mechanical and scientific innovations of the 19th century, things like trolley cars, as well as manual typewriters. Just inside the windows are several old typewriters, which certainly caught the attention of this longtime news hound. There's a Fox typewriter company from Grand Rapids, Michigan, USA. It's an old piece that looks like something out of a movie set. This is how Whitecomb describes his art. It's from his website. He is a Missouri-based artist who specializes in one-of-a-kind furniture and lighting made from architectural and industrial salvage. Mick travels the world sourcing unique materials for his Artifacts line. Fixated on the American machine age and the advent of electric lighting, Mick converts mechanical and scientific innovations from the 19th century into utilitarian sculptures. Mick pairs actual objects from the 1800s with lighting technologies that are exact reproductions of Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla's original inventions of the incandescent bulb and alternating current. And there is a typewriter that he has added a light bulb on the inside of, it looks like, a Remington. He also uses items from the 1880s to the 1920s, such as telescopes, microscopes, weight scales, and tools used in electroshock therapy. Here is another example of his art, and it is a scale, an 1800s-style scale, with a light bulb on one side and a set of books and weights on the other, and some Tesla-style current light bulbs in the middle. They met in political science class at MSU. The Springfield News-Leader in 2015 ran a story about Mick and Paige Whitecomb and Mick's art. They met in a political science class at Missouri State University. He was studying business and she was an English major, but later changed to art history. He was offered a job in Indonesia after graduation and took it. They lived there and then moved to Bali. After 2 years overseas, the couple returned and opened a storefront business for art in downtown Springfield. In 2014, Mick began crafting his own art, including furniture. Building was once home to a grocery store, then a lawnmower business. The building has 3,058 square feet, according to records at the Greene County Assessor's Office. It was once a grocery store called Economy Market. I found ads from 1952 to 1969 for the grocery store at that address in the Springfield News-Leader and in the Springfield Leader and Press. Later, the building was the home of Roto-Catlet equipment and later Rotocat. It sold lawnmowers, riding mowers, chipper shredders, and tillers. It also repaired lawnmower engines. I saw newspaper ads for the business from 1977 to 2005. Pictured is the building back at that time with a red sign at the top. The Whitcombs purchased the property from James D. Vifehouse, who owned the lawnmower business. Mick says it was being used for storage when he bought it. This is from Answer Man column number 158. Steve Pokin writes the Pokin' Around in the Answer Man columns for the Springfield Daily Citizen. He also writes about criminal justice issues, and he can be reached at spokin@sgfcitizen.org.
Thank you for listening to the Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service. Come by and see us in person with daily deals at 2713 North Kansas Expressway in Springfield, Missouri. Veterans receive a 25% discount every day, providing significant savings as a token of appreciation for their service. Additionally, the store features a weekly clothing sale where all clothing items are available at 50% off every Wednesday. Seniors aged 55 and older benefit from a 25% discount every Tuesday, making shopping more affordable for the senior community. The Blind Community Thrift Store is a spacious 17,000 square foot thrift store located in Springfield, Missouri. Alrighty, our next article is from Springfield Daily Citizen. The Springfield Art Museum's renovation project moves forward with Foundation's new leader. This article is by Jeff Ketzinger, and we have a photo of Miss Kate Francis. And she is in a yellow dress, and she is sitting in a chair against a gray background. She is the first executive director of Friends of the Springfield Art Museum, the museum's foundation. She moved into that job on January 5th, 2026, after serving as a Museum Affairs Officer in charge of fundraising and development since June 2021. Kate Francis avoided many of the first-day jitters that come with starting a new job when she became the first executive director of the Friends of the Springfield Art Museum, the museum's foundation, on January 5th. After all, she's currently the foundation's only employee, and it wasn't a big career change for the former Museum Affairs Officer in charge of development and fundraising. Really, it's the same job of what I was doing at the Art Museum, Francis said on January 13th. Those responsibilities have shifted over to the foundation as well as administrative stuff. Those responsibilities have shifted over to the foundation as well as administrative stuff. So a lot of those policies and procedures and best practices that need to be put in place since the foundation is now a real live boy or girl is what's gotten added to my plate. The fundraising side has always been the same. That fundraising is vital as the foundation works to fund Phase 2 of the Springfield Art Museum's massive multi-year renovation and expansion project. The foundation board members are thrilled to have Kate serve as the organization's first executive director, Foundation Chair Sonia Wise said in a press release. The foundation recently underwent a strategic planning exercise with consulting firm Alexander Haas, and it was clear that now was the time to hire an executive director and formalize the foundation as an independent, active, and impactful fundraising partner for the Springfield Art Museum and the city of Springfield. And we have a photo of the entrance of the Springfield Art Museum on a sunny day. And it looks like this photo was taken in spring because there's daffodils in front. There's some inside baseball behind the job change for Francis. The Springfield Art Museum Foundation as the fundraising arm for the museum was conceived in 2018, while Friends of the Springfield Art Museum had existed since 1982 as a membership organization. Shortly after Francis joined the museum staff in June 2021, she learned that Friends of the Art Museum was considered disbanding. They were having trouble finding people to serve in the officer roles that are required by articles of incorporation to maintain a solid 501c3 designation. Francis said, "I thought about it, and the next day Springfield Art Museum Director Nick Nielsen and I were sitting there, and I said, I wonder what the possibilities would be if perhaps we could somehow assume the Friends of the Springfield Art Museum's 501c3 rather than trying to create one from scratch." The possibilities were good. Francis said the foundation engaged a third-party attorney who specializes in nonprofit law to learn how to handle that transition legally. Essentially, the Friends of the Springfield Art Museum and the Springfield Art Museum's foundation boards merged. It continues the legacy of what the original Friends organization intent was with the art museum, Francis said, so it still lives on and in different form. There's another reason behind Francis's move from the city-owned art museum to the nonprofit foundation. As the Springfield Art Museum Foundation took on more responsibilities, including grant applications and raising funds for programmatic support, there were concerns about having a city employee so intimately involved with a private institution. So at some point, there had to be separation because our legal team was concerned, and we have a duty to the public to be open, she said. We want to be transparent about everything that our staff are doing and everything that our boards are doing, and we just want to make sure that they're not blurring any of those lines. Now it's my responsibility to go and report to the museum board, ensuring that the two institutions are talking together, but the management and liabilities are separate. The move also allows Francis more freedom. One of the constraints of being a city employee is you're not allowed to overtly advocate or lobby. As an employee of the 501c3, I have that ability now to be more present and more forward-facing, she says. We now have a photo taken at the Springfield Art Museum's 99X fundraiser, created by Southwest Missouri artists and designers, inspired by a piece from the museum's permanent collection. And it's a very fun photo. We have two girls dressed up. The only way I can describe what they're wearing is it's like a blue jungle leaves with dots, and it's purple. It's very fun, very different, but fun. With Francis at the helm, all individual contributions to the museum as well as foundation, corporate, and select government funding will flow through the Springfield Art Museum Foundation. Francis will continue to manage and execute events like the 99X fundraiser and Pops in the Park, as well as build planned giving endowment programs to ensure the museum continues to serve the community. Kate's appointment is really about evolution and progress, just not for the foundation, but for the museum as well, Nelson, the museum's director, said in a press release. We are deeply grateful to the foundation board members who have steered the organization to this point. As executive director of the foundation, Kate will continue and expand upon her significant work and success to date as a primary fundraiser and advocate for the museum. Francis will remain the foundation's only employee through the end of 2026. The strategic plan calls for the addition of support staff in 2027 and another fundraiser in 2028. Francis calls it measured growth. We now have a photo of a building being worked on and constructed. It continues the phase 1 of the Springfield Art Museum's year-long renovations. It's a picture of the auditorium being turned into a special gallery, and it gives the museum space to display large-scale art. Francis is currently working from the Holland building downtown as the first phase of the Springfield Art Museum's renovation continues. She said the project is on time and on budget, and that presents a problem. We're ready to start phase 2, she said. That phase, however, isn't fully funded. That's why she and Nelson have been present and active at meetings at the Citizens Advisory Board, which is charged with providing recommendations on projects to the City Council for funding from the half-cent portion of the 3/4-cent Spring Forward sales tax. We feel this project fits hand in glove with the parameters of what the voters voted for, Francis said. We've got about $34.5 million that we need to close the gap on the $37 million phase 2 expense. Francis said that more than 10% has been raised from private funding toward phase 2, but since it's still a City of Springfield project, all funding must be handed before construction can begin. The most cost-effective and efficient way to ensure that phase 2 starts as soon as phase 1 is over is to get a large allocation from that Citizens Advisory Board money, she said. Now we have asked for it over 2 fiscal years. We don't want to take all the money in one fiscal year. And so the benefit of the foundation is so we can assist with financing to offset the money that we won't come in until the fiscal 2028 year. We now have a photo of part of Phase 2's vision. So it's just a mock-up. It faces National Avenue and features a large high-ceiling gallery serving as a beacon for art and creativity, and a semi-transparent exterior extroverting the museum's east side. The next Citizens Advisory Board meeting is scheduled for January 22nd. It could vote on funding Phase 2 then. In the meantime, Frances continues to fundraise. She said the foundation has 6 figures worth of contributions that are under consideration right now, and there will still be naming opportunities that people can invest in. If the board approves the Phase 2 funding, any extra money raised by the foundation would ideally go into an endowment. We want to ensure that we open this brand new, fabulous, incredible museum and be able to sustain it for another century, Frances said. The thing that the art museum has been missing in the last century is an endowment to help support operational growth over year after year, as well as maintenance of the building. So even if we get that large influx from the half-cent tax, we'll still continue to fundraise because we want to build that endowment to sustain the institution. Anyone interested in contributing is invited to reach out to Frances directly, and more information can be found on the Friends of the Springfield Art Museum website. We now have another digital photo, a mock-up of the special exhibitions gallery that will replace the Springfield Art Museum's auditorium, and it will feature 20-foot tall ceilings. Frances is thrilled to continue working on the Springfield Art Museum's remodeling project and said she feels it's an opportunity for Springfield to demonstrate that it can finish a visionary and transformative project in its whole. Brian Fogel used the phrase, "Springfield's good enough. We want to be better than that," she said. We want to create the destination in our own community that people talk about in Bentonville or Tulsa or Kansas City. We have the collection, we just need the facility that showcases it in the manner that it deserves to be showcased, as well as creating a destination that combines a museum facility with a historic amphitheater adjacent to an incredible city park. I mean, it's just really a destination opportunity. So we really feel this is Springfield's moment to show that it can do big things. Not just things, but big things that see something come to fruition all the way through.
At the Springfield Daily Citizen, we have the Athlete of the Week. Reese Kimry leads battle-tested Kickapoo into Bass Pro Tournament of Champions. Northwest Missouri State-bound senior leads state-ranked Chiefs against the nation's best by Andy Carroll. This Athlete of the Week profile is made possible by our healthcare sponsor Mercy, construction sponsor Nesbitt Construction, and Daily Citizen Athlete of the Year. So the sponsor for the Springfield Daily Citizen. Scholarship sponsors Absolute Dental and Dumpster417.com. Pictured is the Springfield Daily Citizen athlete, and it's a picture of Reese Kimry at Kickboot during one of his games wearing the jersey and logo that is white with yellow trim and holding the basketball. Reese Kimry knows when there is a big upcoming game on Kickboot's schedule by who lines up to defend him at practice. As the Chief prepares for the 41st Tournament of Champions at Great Southern Bank Arena this week, the scout team featured some extra talent in former Republican Evangel guard Mitch McHenry, Kickboot's 36-year-old head coach. He tries his best. He's getting a little older, so moving a little slower, Kimry said. He still has great vision. He'll make some passes that I rarely see, so it's just great to see him out there continuing to play. McHenry's hand-on approach helps. I think it's important because kids nowadays think they got it all figured out, and they have all the answers, McHenry said. But for the most part, I don't do it very often, just when we need it, when we need to get ready for a game or there's something important. I am slowing down. That's an accurate scouting report from Reese. Kimry was a freshman who saw action in the 2023 Bass Pro Tournament of Champions, the last time the Chiefs took the floor at one of America's premier high school basketball events. The 2026 tournament will bookend the All-State point guard's decorated career. He won't be starstruck this time against the nation's best. Pictured is Kickapoo guard Reese Kimry headed to NCAA Division II Northwest Missouri State, and he is getting the ball past somebody trying to defend him. It was definitely nerve-wracking when I was a freshman. We played against some NBA guys like Metas Buzelis and Mikael Brown, Kimry said, recalling 2 players from Sunrise Christian Academy now playing for the Chicago Bulls, and NCAA powerhouse Louisville Cardinals. Those guys were kind of scary as a freshman. This year as a senior, I'm looking forward to it. Definitely more excited than I was my freshman year. It's a moment to remember forever. All those bright lights, they don't ever go out. Kickapoo 9-2 opens with Principia 12-1, a private school in St. Louis, and the number 2 ranked team in the nation on maxpreps.com. McHenry said Kickapoo will lean on Kimry's leadership of a veteran roster. Reese is the only one that's played in the TOC, but we have a lot of seniors that have been battle-tested, McHenry said. Kimry is just a very intelligent player, a very smart player, and a very physical player. He's not very big or tall, but he does a great job using his body, playing on balance, and, he's really running the show. He's just very good mentally, and he never gets sped up, plays at a great pace, which is why a lot of teams at the next level want him. Pretty cool that he played against professionals. Northwest Missouri State and head coach Matt Keeley is the program that landed him. Kimry committed to the Bearcats, and he'll join Logan Rogersville senior forward Marcus Moore in Maryville next fall. Logan Rogersville, 11-1, is the other local participant in the TOC, Tournament of Champions. The Wildcats draw Paul VI, the top-ranked team in the country per maxpreps.com in the opening round. A friendship has blossomed between Kimry and Moore since the pair committed to be future teammates, but Kimry doesn't want to cross paths with Moore this weekend. We've definitely gotten closer. We used to not talk a lot, and now we talk pretty much every day. Coach Keeley definitely saw greatness in both of us, Kimry said. Hopefully we don't play each other because that means we both didn't do well, but looking forward to it. After the TOC, Kickapoo will look to keep throttling local competition. The Chiefs won 3 games in January over Hillcrest, Willard, and Parkview by an average of nearly 40 points. A date with Nixa in February is circled on Kimry's calendar after the Eagles beat Kickapoo with a buzzer beater in the Class 6 District 5 championship game last year. Kimry had a game-winning shot against Nixa as a sophomore, and he wants to come up big against his rivals. First, we have to make it out of districts. We have a tough district, he said. We're trying to win that first, obviously, and trying to look forward to a Final Four run. Andy Carroll is a freelance reporter for the Springfield Daily Citizen, and he currently covers the Springfield Cardinals and St. Louis Battlehawks for Scoops with Danny Meck. Previously, he contributed to the Springfield News-Leader's coverage of Missouri State athletics and high school sports in the Ozarks.
Alrighty. Our next article is from the Springfield News-Leader. It is by Janice Reeser and the reporter assisted by AI. Springfield lands $13.8 million to improve safety on South Campbell. The city of Springfield has received a $13.8 million federal grant to improve safety on South Campbell Avenue, according to a community announcement. The funding comes from the Safe Streets and Roads for All, SS4A, implementation grant and will support the city's Vision Zero goal to eliminate traffic deaths by 2040 and serious injuries by 2050. With a 20% required local match, the total investment is expected to exceed $17 million. The South Campbell Avenue Priority Corridor project aims to reduce crashes on 2 segments of Campbell Avenue, identified in the Ozark Transportation Organization's Destination Safe Streets Regional Safety Action Plan. Boy, that's a mouthful. The targeted areas included Republic Road to Walnut Lawn Street and Sunshine Street to Minota Street. Improvements between Republic Road and Walnut Lawn will include widening Campbell to 6 lanes, adding safety medians, sidewalks, stormwater upgrades, traffic calming measures, and a new pedestrian bridge north of Primrose Street. The segment from Sunrise to Minota will see an upgraded intersection at Portland Street, protected turn lanes, safety medians, sidewalks, stormwater improvements, and traffic calming measures. The project is expected to build on existing safety investments along South Campbell, including completed intersection improvements at Republic Road and Grand Street, upcoming improvements at Campbell and Walnut Lawn, and the ongoing Sunshine Street corridor study. The City of Springfield is expected to begin working with the U.S. Department of Transportation in the coming weeks to establish a grant agreement, a process that can take 6 to 12 months. Once the agreement is in place, the city will begin the project design and public engagement process. South Campbell is a critical corridor for residents, businesses, and visitors. And this grant gives us the opportunity to improve safety in a way that will have lasting benefits for the community, Public Works Director Dan Smith said in the announcement. These improvements build on work already underway and reflect our commitment to safer streets for everyone. More information about the project and the grant application is available at springfieldmo.gov/South Campbell. This story was created by Janice J. Reeser at usatoday.co.
Following up with the Tournament of Champions, the Day 2, we have the Bass Pro Tournament highlights and recaps. Number 1, Paul VI, Virginia will face number 5, Calvary Christian, Florida in the Tournament of Champions championship game, and this was January 16th. Here's a look at the semifinal round of the 41st Annual Bass Pro Tournament of Champions at Great Southern Bank Arena. The consolation semifinal was Logan Rogersville 66 and number 8 Wheeler 64. There is pictured the Logan Rogersville bench celebrating after they made a 3-point shot on Thursday at the Bass Pro Tournament, and is a collection of about 8 teenagers who all have the current fashion shaggy hairstyle and very excited about that 3-point shot. When Logan Rogersville sophomore Titus Young completed a 3-point play following an emphatic fourth-quarter dunk, the Wildcats had defending Georgia Class 6A champion Wheeler staring at a 6-point deficit. A night after nearly upsetting top-ranked Paul VI, the Wildcats appeared even more offensively fluid against 8th-ranked Wheeler on Friday in the Bass Pro Tournament of Champions consolation semifinals. But after shooting an icy 8 for 19 from the free throw line and committing a flurry of turnovers in the final quarter, Wheeler was able to cut the Wildcats' lead to 64-62 with 18 seconds left following a 3-pointer by Kevin Savage III. Logan Rogersville was subsequently fouled, missed its next 2 free throws, and Wheeler had an opportunity to complete the spirited comeback. It came up fruitless on a Savage 3 dribble drive, and the Wildcats preserved a 66-64 win. Indiana-bound junior guard Chase Branham was a big reason why. Branham scored a game-high 32 points and helped Logan Rogersville shoot 60% from the field, 23 for 38 against a Wheeler team loaded with Division I recruits, including 6'6" University of Connecticut commit Colbin Landrew. Landrew had 22 points to lead a Wheeler team that trailed by as many 17 points in the first half after Logan Rogersville connected on 4 of its 5 3-point attempts in the second quarter. Branham, who often faces top-flight national competition in the summer AAU circuit, enjoyed beating a major program with his friends from high school. It proves who we are in the Southwest Missouri area code 417 and what we have here, said Branham. The number 33 ranked recruit in the class of 2027. It feels great, like it did in a narrow 64-58 loss to Paul VI the previous evening, a game the Wildcats also led late, albeit briefly. Logan Rogersville moved the ball efficiently and was a defensive pest against a collectively longer, more athletic team. Sophomore guard Jack Sutherland accounted for 8 assists to go with 10 points, and Moore, a versatile 6'7" swingman, had 10 points. Getting used to all the lingo. Wheeler featured forwards Landrew, University of Connecticut, 6'6" wing Amari James, Clemson, and Jaron Salisbury, Ole Miss. James and Salisbury were held to a combined 13 points thanks to a defensive effort from forwards Titus and Marcus Moore, Northwest Missouri State. It's a special opportunity to play with my brother, Titus Moore said. It's a special opportunity to play with Chase and Sutton, Shook, and the guys. We've been friends for a while now, so our chemistry is coming together. Logan Rogersville, ranked number 3 in the latest Missouri Class 4 poll, will face the winner of Kickapoo and St. John Bosco in Saturday's Consolation Championship. The consolation semifinal, St. John Bosco 57, Kickapoo 48. Kickapoo head coach Mitch McHenry talks to his team in a photograph during a timeout on Thursday, January 15th at the Bass Pro Tournament of Champions. California power St. John Bosco was simply too big for homestanding Kickapoo, particularly 6'9" senior Christian Collins. The 5-star recruit, who has garnered interest from about every major college basketball program, used his 7-foot wingspan to score a game-high 20 points and corralled 12 rebounds against a guard-heavy Kickapoo team without a starter bigger than 6'3". And Collins had help. Max Ellis, a 6'6" guard, added 13 points and 7 rebounds for a Braves team that won the offensive rebounding battle by a sizable 15-4 margin. but defensive-minded Kickapoo still found a way to give St. John Bosco early fits. The Chiefs were tied 11-11 early in the second quarter and ultimately held the Braves to 38% shooting. Kickapoo definitely challenged us in ways we didn't expect, Ellis said. It was a great experience to play against them. Coach Matt Dunn joked that he expected it, but his players didn't listen. They're tremendously coached. Their style of play is very challenging, Dunn said. The Chiefs were competitive with a physically superior team with more touted recruits for the second consecutive game, though trailing most of the contest. An Elijah Neighbors three-pointer cut into the Braves' lead at 34-30 in the third quarter, and a pair of Reese Kimry free throws made it a 46-40 contest in the fourth. Collins would go on a subsequent 7-2 run against the Chiefs, who wouldn't get any closer. I'm proud of our guys. They battled, Kickapoo head coach Mitch McHenry said. It could have gotten out of hand in that third quarter, but we were able to make a run and give ourselves a better chance in the fourth. Losing is not fun. It's not fun to lose, no matter who you're playing. There are some things we can't control right now, but there are some things we have to do in a tournament like this that we have control of, that we just need to be better at to have a chance to compete late in the game and to win a game. Senior Layden Kickapoo, annually one of the better teams in Missouri's largest classification, was led by the Northwest Missouri State-bound guard, Kimry's 13 points. Brock Thompson added 9 points and 6 rebounds. All of the guys on this team have heart, Kimry said. We're not going to let teams come out and run over us. It's just good to go out there and compete, and hopefully tomorrow is better. Kickapoo will face Wheeler in Saturday's 2:30 p.m. 7th-place game. St. John Bosco will face Logan Rogersville in a 4 p.m. 5th-place game. Championship semifinal, number 1 Paul VI 74, number 6 Bartlett 51. And it's showing a picture of Paul VI Lawrence Brown going in for a lefty layup on Friday, January 16th. No Jordan Smith, no problem. Without the 5-star recruit and number 2 player in class of 2026, top-ranked Paul VI still proceeded to roll past Bartlett in the Bass Pro Tournament semifinals thanks to its efficiency from outside the arc. The Virginia school connected on 13 of 19 three-point attempts and used an 18-9 third quarter to pull away from Memphis, Tennessee Power. With Smith sidelined with a reportedly tweaked ankle from a morning shoot-around following Thursday night's 64-58 win over Logan Rogersville, Florida Gulf Coast signee Lawrence Brown took charge, scoring 20 points and dishing out 7 assists. Brown, Brian Mitchell Jr., 14 points, and Matthew Mina, 13 points, combined to go 9 for 14 from three-point range. Bartlett, which was held to just 37%, 19 for 51 from the field, was led by Braylon Williams' team high 20 points. Paul VI advanced to Saturday's 8:30 p.m. championship game, looking to win its third TOC title since 2022, and the Panthers will face number 5 Calvary Christian, Florida. The championship semifinal, number 5 Calvary Christian 62, number 2 Principia 56. And pictured is Calvary Christian forward Aiden Bolden grabbing a rebound, legs up in the air, going for that dunk and shoot, grabs for the put-back points on Friday, January 16th. Calvary Christian Junior guard Caden Darty fueled an 8-2 run in crunch time to push the Fort Lauderdale school past second-ranked Principia in the Bass Pro Tournament of Champions semifinals. Daughtry, a 4-star recruit, scored a layup and connected on all 4 of his free throws in the final 2 minutes to hold off the Panthers from St. Louis that dug themselves out of an 18-point hole. Calvary Christian saw its 36-18 lead before halftime turn into an eventual 50-54 tie late in the fourth when Wake Forest-bound guard Quinton Coleman hit a three-pointer at the 2:02 mark, setting up Daughtry's late-game heroics. Daughtry had 19 points to lead Calvary Christian, which was also aided by forwards Aiden Bolden, 13 points, and Kenneth Francis, 12 points. Point guard Jacob Zhu, a member of the U19 Chinese national team who has an NIL deal with Under Armour, added 12 points. Principia boosted a 15-0 run to start the second half, shot a chilly 3 for 15 from three-point range. The defending Missouri Class 3 state champions were led by Coleman's 18 points and 9 rebounds and Wyatt Slee's 13 points. Calvary Christian will face top-ranked Paul VI in an 8:30 p.m. TOC championship game. Bartlett, Tennessee will face Principia in 7 p.m. third-place game. National rankings according to Max Preps. This is written by Ryan Collingwood, sports reporter. He covers college and high school sports in the Springfield metropolitan area for the Daily Citizen. If you have a story or a gripe, send an email to rcollingwood, COLLINGWOOD, at sgfcitizen.org.
Alrighty. It is also National Disc Jockey Day. Today, we remember and celebrate those who keep us humming, tapping our feet, and dancing throughout our days. Disc jockeys, also known as DJs, entertain by playing recorded music. Traditionally, DJs have spun vinyl records on turntables, but many other formats are used, such as CDs and stored digital audio files played on CDJs and laptops. There are radio DJs, club DJs who play music at nightclubs and music festivals, and other mobile DJs who play music at events such as weddings and school dances, among others. Some DJs are also turntablists who manipulate the sounds on vinyl records to create their own music. National Disc Jockey Day is held on the anniversary of the death of legendary radio DJ Alan Freed, who passed away on January 20th, 1965. Although radio DJs existed in the first half of the 20th century and the term disc jockey came about in the 1930s, it wasn't until the 1950s that DJs came into their own. Radio DJs were at their height in the 1950s and 1960s with the rise of rock and roll and what is considered the golden age of top 40 radio. These DJs brought rock and roll to larger audiences and initially had more control over what was played, infusing their playlists with their own unique tastes instead of following station playlists. They bookended songs or a series of songs with comments, information, jokes, announcements, and commercials before launching into another set. Alan Freed introduced the term rock and roll to radio listeners and was the first to play the music on air at a major station at WJW in Cleveland. Notably, much of the music he played was made by African Americans but was listened to by a largely white audience. He was at his peak when he left Cleveland in 1954 and came to WINS in New York, a dark spot in the first decade of radio DJs, especially for Freed, was the payola scandal, where DJs received payment from record companies to play songs on the radio. This undercut the belief that DJs were playing music based solely on their passion for the songs, and following the scandal, DJs by and large lost creative control of their playlists, which left control to program managers. Freed's career never recovered following the scandal. In the early 1960s, Wolfman Jack howled and growled from a border blaster station just over the border in Mexico. XERF had 250,000 watts of power that brought his iconic voice and the songs he spun thousands of miles across the United States. Later in the decade, Wolfman Jack joined XERB. This time, he was able to record his shows at a studio in Hollywood and send the tapes over the border to be broadcasted. Other notable radio DJs of the era were Casey Kasem, Dewey Phillips, John Peel, Don Steele, and Murray the K. Although it was mainly a male-dominated career at the time, there were female DJs such as Allison Steele at WNEW-FM in New York City. The prominence of radio DJs waned with a move from the AM Top 40 format to an FM album-oriented rock format, although there were still some notable DJs with the rise of FM, such as Allison Steele and Tom Donahue. The era of DJs also waned on account of the rise of news and call-in radio shows. Club DJs got their start in the 1950s when local and regional radio DJs began hosting teen dance parties called sock hops or record hops. Radio stations or stores often sponsored the hops in order to promote their DJs or to sell records. DJs usually spun hit singles that were on 45 RPM records just as they did on air. Originally, club DJs had one turntable and talked between songs, but then they moved to two turntables so they could seamlessly transition from one song to the next. The first to do this was Bob Casey in 1958. In the 1960s, club DJs spun records in nightclubs and discos, which grew in popularity in the U.S. and Europe during the decade but lost prominence by its end. Mobile DJs spun records at block parties that emerged in the 1970s. The parties were popular in New York City and were modeled after the Jamaican sound systems of decades past. Not only were songs played at these block parties, but they ushered in the dawn of experimentation with turntables, the manipulation of sound and the creation of music with them, which is called turntablism. The Technics SL-1200 turntable debuted in 1974 and became the standard for DJing. By the mid-1970s, DJing became an important component of hip-hop music and culture, which came out of the African American and Latino communities in New York City. Disco music in the mid-1970s led to a reemergence of discos in the United States and Europe, but they went out of style again in the early 1980s. Around the same time, electronic dance music, influenced by disco, called house music, which essentially is disco music with drum machine beats, was born in Chicago. DJs created and played this music and related types that followed. New York garage house soon came on the scene, and techno, which is electronic music with synthesized beats, came out of Detroit clubs in the mid-1980s. The rave music scene thrived in the 1990s with touring celebrity DJs emerging from it. The MP3 debuted in 1992, and internet radio stations soon arrived, which could be listened to anywhere and which were operated by computer DJs. Shortly after the turn of the century, the ability for MP3 files to be controlled through time-coded vinyl records arrived, and digital vinyl was born. In the midst of the changes in DJing throughout the years, from the changes in locations where DJs worked, to the changes in musical styles, to the changes in DJ equipment, the DJ has remained behind the controls. We remember and celebrate them today on National Disc Jockey Day.
That was fascinating. I had no idea. I didn't realize house music was its own thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I just thought it was what the house was playing. Well, I learned something new. All right, so at the Springfield News-Leader, we have Springfield Zoo finds maned wolf pups born in November are all boys, by Susan Schuch. Dickerson Park Zoo found out that 2 litters of maned wolf pups welcomed in November are all boys. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service classifies maned wolves as endangered. The birth of 5 male maned wolves at Dickerson Park Zoo is not only an exciting announcement for the zoo staff, but also an important contribution to the future of maned wolves, the zoo said in a press release. The zoo's veterinarians and animal care teams discovered during the pups' first physical exam on January 13th that all were males. 3 pups, Cedar, Aspen, and Thistle, were born to parents Katina and Lume on November 24th, 2025. The 2 other pups, Cinder and Ash, were born to parents Patty and Mario on November 28th. Ooh, my birthday. Patty and Mario are currently off exhibit, but Katina and Lume are an exhibit in the South America area of Dickerson Park Zoo. Katina and Lume's litter are also exploring the exhibit now and may be visible to zoo guests. Maned wolves are native to South America, and despite their name, are actually their own species. They look like a long-legged fox. Maned wolves are a part of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums Species Survival Plan and Saving Animals from Extinction, both of which Dickerson Park Zoo participates in. Dickerson Park Zoo is open daily during the winter from 9 to 4 p.m. and located at 1401 West Norton Road. They have pictured Ash, who has very much been playing in straw, and it's covered all over him, and he looks very annoyed that he's been picked up and stopped from playing. Aspen has a white patch on his eye. Cinder looks like he's gray with a brown head. Cedar has just a cute little fuzzy face and looks very sweet and innocent. And they are all ready to play.
What a cute story. They all looked cute, too. Alrighty, our next article is from Springfield Daily Citizen by Lyndall Scranton. The St. Louis Cardinals embrace rebuild with homegrown talent from Springfield. The prospects are eager to grow as a group in St. Louis and win there as well. We have a photo of Victor Scott II, who became a fan favorite in his half season playing for the Springfield Cardinals, where he helped the team reach the Texas League playoffs. He is taking a photo with a fan, and she looks real happy to be meeting him. Over the last 21 years, Springfield fans have watched a parade of young prospects polish their skills at Hammons Field before graduating to the big leagues in St. Louis to help the Major League Cardinals. From Josh Kinney as the original Springfield Cardinals alum to make his mark in the St. Louis bullpen to 2025 National League of Gold Glove shortstop Mason Wynn, the list of 143 is lengthy and impressive. And it appears that the 2026 season will have more of a Springfield flavor at Busch Stadium than ever before, as the St. Louis Cardinals have committed to a full-blown youth movement. The rebuild that's been put into motion by Chaim Bloom, trading veterans such as Nolan Arenado, Sonny Gray, and Wilson Contreras this offseason has cleared the deck for youngsters to fill the majority of the big league roster in 2026. Lost my place. Some of the young former Springfield Cardinals talent slotted for bigger roles in St. Louis returned to the old AA home ballpark last week as part of the annual Cardinals Caravan. They praised the fans here for their support and their time in AA as a key to development. We now have a photo of Victor Scott II. He is sliding into a base while his opponent attempts to catch the ball. It is unknown if he touched the base before the ball was caught. He has stolen 94 bases in 108 attempts in 2023, playing in 66 games for both Peoria and Springfield. Now with St. Louis, Scott has a goal of stealing at least 70 bases in 2026. Victor Scott II was a fan favorite while playing the second half of the 2023 season at Hammons Field. Scott said he owes much of his development to his time here in what became a breakout season that saw him rocket into prospect territory. I feel like this is a place where I started to blossom, to kind of grow into the player who I'm becoming, Scott said. This was like the start of it, and I was able to kind of show my game style, my gameplay here. And I just had a lot of fun doing it. Scott said he set a goal of stealing at least 70 bases for the Cardinals this season and winning a Gold Glove and center field joining win, Springfield class of 2022 in that elite category. Scott was a finalist for the top defensive award a year ago. We now have a photo of Kyle Leahy. He is pitching a ball, and the photo is captioned that Kyle bounced back strong from a 0-8 record in 2021 to lead the 2022 Cardinals in victories, strikeouts, and innings pitched. Lee is a contender for a spot in the St. Louis rotation in 2026. Meanwhile, pitcher Kyle Lee looks back on his days in Springfield as a mixed bag. A Division II player at Colorado Mesa, Leahy was not a highly regarded prospect, especially after going 0-8 with an 8.20 earned run average for Springfield in 2022. But he turned it around the next year, going 10-7 and eventually making his big league debut in 2024. Now, after 2 decent seasons out of the St. Louis bullpen, Leahy is a contender for a spot in the big league rotation. That's always been a personal goal of mine, to get in the rotation of the big leagues one day, Lee said. So we'll have that opportunity in spring, and we'll see how it goes. I've taken my lumps and my bruises here as well, and learned a lot of lessons from this game here in Springfield, and picked myself up from some pretty dark moments in my career and made it through. I think that has shaped a lot of things that you need to survive in this game over a long season. Leahy recalled how he discovered his eyesight was lacking while pitching night games at Hammons Field, and he couldn't read signals from the catcher. It became an anxiety issue for him. I didn't wear contacts before, and the lighting here kind of made me realize that I can't see, Leahy recalled. I went and got contacts, and it would take me 30 minutes to put contacts in before the game because I was afraid to touch my eyes at that point. I went through a lot of small little life things like that here that don't seem like much, but when you're freaking out before a game that you can't see, and if you can't put your contacts in with first pitch in an hour, it's little things like that that you don't think would make a big deal, but I went through that. Alrighty, we have a photo of Springfield Cardinals catcher Leonardo Bernal. He's greeting teammates after scoring the first run of the Baby Bird season on a single by third baseman Dakota Harris in the first inning on Saturday, April 5th, 2025 at Hammons Field in Springfield, Missouri. And all his teammates are high-fiving him in their red jackets. Another Cardinals prospect who isn't too far from possibly making it to St. Louis is catcher Leonardo Bernal. The Texas League All-Star in 2025 was a key member of Springfield's second Texas League championship team, and he capped it off by winning a minor league Gold Glove, selected from all players at his position at all levels. Bernal said that most people probably think of his hitting ability, but he's most proud of the Gold Glove as a member of an organization that features Yadier Molina for 2 decades. Yadi won like 13 platinum gloves and 9 gold gloves, Bernal said. You definitely want to be great defensively as a Cardinals catcher. We now have a photo of Springfield Cardinals shortstop J.J. Weatherholt. He looks on from the dugout during a game at Hammons Field. Probably the most decorated Springfield alum in recent years, didn't make the interview portion of the caravan because of travel days. Infielder J.J. Weatherholt enters 2026 as one of baseball's top prospects and the Texas League Player of the Year in 2025. The 23-year-old is expected to contend for a starting position at second or third base in spring training. Based on his past experience, Scott offered up some advice to Weatherholt about the transition from prospect to big league regular. If you have a good process, a good routine, things slow down in the game, Scott said. So that's something that if I could go tell the 2024 Victor, then I definitely would. Expectations around baseball are low for the big league Cardinals as the organization's first true rebuild season in nearly 3 decades begins. Not that the young and hungry Redbirds are ready to buy into the term rebuild when it comes to the standings. Many of the guys who came through Springfield together want to not only grow as a group in St. Louis, but also to win there as well. Being a homegrown group, that has some true meaning to it, Scott said. We're able to go out there and say, hey, you're homegrown, I'm homegrown, let's go win together. We're excited about it. Many of those former Springfield Cardinals will return to Hammons Field on March 23rd as the St. Louis Cardinals play a 6:05 p.m. exhibition game against the AA team. Tickets for the game are available through Red Access membership. For questions on how to access tickets, visit springfieldcardinals.com or call 417-863-0395.
This was a 45-second video that seemed to have some information, so I'm going to read along. Springfield City Utilities needs to know what your water line is made of. Here is how to find out. How to check the water service line material. New EPA rules require utilities to create an inventory of materials used in water service lines, both utility-owned and customer-owned. Springfield City Utilities is asking customers to look at their water service lines, identify the material, take photos, and submit them to CU Online. Water service lines may be made of several different materials, such as copper, lead, galvanized steel, or plastics like PVC. Use a magnet to check the pipe. If it sticks, the pipe is galvanized steel. If the magnet doesn't stick, use a quarter to scratch the pipe to reveal a shiny metal underneath. If it's silver, the pipe is lead. If it's a warmer tone and more golden, it's probably copper or brass.
Alrighty, thanks for that video. Our next article is by 417 Mag. And it is an article about where to see bald eagles in Missouri this winter season. It is by Reese Radmacher. Additional reporting by Katie Pollock, Estes. The U.S. national emblem, the bald eagle, is making its annual commute to our state this month. And we have a photo of our national bird. Bald eagles are frequent visitors to Missouri each winter. The birds are often found near rivers and lakes where the water doesn't freeze over. With their piercing stare and brawny build, it's no surprise bald eagles were chosen to be the national emblem by the Second Continental Congress in 1782. The majestic creatures symbolize wisdom, power, and freedom, and their build and size reflect this well. Their outward appearance is just one of their many admirable qualities. Francis Skalicki, media specialist for the Southwest region of the Missouri Department of Conservation, says the sizable birds can have wingspans of up to 8 feet, a flight speed range of 20 to 40 miles per hour, and eyesight that is 5 to 6 times sharper than that of humans. I really wish I had their eyesight right now. Furthermore, these versatile birds can swim and can dive at speeds up to 100 miles per hour. So how did our nation's emblem become endangered? According to Skaliki, in conjunction with illegal hunting of the eagles, based on the assumption they were predators of livestock and aquatic wildlife, the central problem resided in the use of a pesticide known as DDT, which effectively controlled insects but had a detrimental effect on bird reproduction, resulting in eggshells that were far too soft. Now, bald eagles have made a comeback. The birds are still considered a species of concern in Missouri, but they are no longer classified as endangered, either here or federally. It's one of the great conservation success stories of Missouri and of the nation, really, Skaliki says. As a state with open water or unfrozen water, Missouri is an especially appealing place for bald eagles in the winter. If you do not know where an eagle is actually nesting, keep your distance, Skaliki says. Let them nest, let them raise their young. We do like having bald eagles around. One way to keep them around is if they have successful reproduction. You have countless opportunities throughout winter to spot this remarkable species by visiting these places around southwest Missouri where bald eagles have been known to live or fly through. There was an event on January 18th at Lake Springfield Boathouse. If you made it out there, I hope you saw some eagles. There is also, you can go to Stockton Lake or Table Rock Lake now through February if you prefer to search on your own. Eagles love to nest and hunt near open water.
I'd highly recommend the Eagle Days if you're ever able to make it. We went this weekend and we have several times. The boathouse, I believe, had 3 spottings of eagles. And so you can go and use your binoculars out there, but then also over at the Conservation Center, the Dickerson Park Zoo usually brings some large birds for viewing, and this year they brought Minerva, the great horned owl, and we had a vulture, and what was the third one? Oh, the peregrine falcon. So I highly recommend. They do a really, really wonderful job of that every year. Then also, speaking of more animals, the Smithsonian's National Zoo welcomed 2 sloth bear cubs. They are adorable little naked things, just teeny tiny. They were the first birth of the species at the zoo since 2013. And if you're ever able to make it to the National Zoo, I highly recommend. It's a beautiful facility. It is the first birth since 2013, as I said, and they are just 2 tiny little things that weighing around 1 pound. The cubs are born blind and spend most of their time sleeping, nursing, and staying close to their mother. Also, we have The Man Proposes Underwater During a Shark Dive at Wonders of Wildlife by Marta Mies. Let's see. The Michigan couple got engaged, and the proposal was the final stop on a surprise multi-state road trip planned by the groom-to-be. For most people, jumping in an aquarium full of sharks sounds neither enticing nor romantic, but for one couple from Michigan, it was the perfect backdrop to signify the next step in their relationship, an engagement. David Balasa had planned a nearly week-long trip across the Midwest with his girlfriend of 2 years, Haley Haley, as a Christmas gift. Planning taken on by Balasa by the help of some friends took months to nail down. They traveled through Kentucky, Tennessee, Illinois, and more, stopping at various attractions to check off bucket list items. Stops along the way included Buc-ee's, lunch at Ford's Garage, a visit to the Superman Museum in Metropolis, Illinois, and another aquarium, Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies in Gatlinburg, where the couple enjoyed a hotel room stay below the sharks. I had no idea where we were going, Haley said. When it comes to trips, I am the planner, I am the packer. He gets to be the little vacation princess, and he doesn't really have to worry about it. But I mean, he had every minute planned of our trip. Pictured is the lovely couple in almost matching burnt sienna shirt and dress, holding 2 little cups of champagne. On December 15th. Prior to the trip, the 2 were already set on getting married eventually, so Haley said she had her suspicions ahead of the trip. But he told her this was not a proposal trip, so she tempered her expectations. Still, she said she held out hope at each beautiful pit stop the couple made along the way. The final stop on their trip, just past the 2-year anniversary of their first date, after matching on Hinge, was the extra special occasion Haley had been hoping for. Balasa reached out to Springfield's Wonders of Wildlife National Museum and Aquarium about coordinating a proposal during the out-to-sea shark dive, an experience that allows aquarium visitors to come face-to-fin with sharks while inside a steel enclosure. By the time the couple reached WOW on December 15th, everything was set to make the exotic proposal go smoothly. Balasa said he knew water had to be a part of the proposal. Haley grew up in Muskegon, Michigan, right next to Lake Michigan, and spent countless days on the water. She had worked at a water park as a lifeguard instructor, and more recently taught swimming lessons. I've lived there. It's very lovely. I've always kind of been considered a fish out of water when it comes to stuff like that, she said. Despite Balasa not being as fond of waters as Haley, having grown up in Nebraska, he said the only nerves he was feeling ahead of the shark dive were about getting on one knee. To ensure the engagement ring was not lost at sea, as the couple spent several minutes in the tank dressed in special suits, Balasa pulled out a ring box holding a shark tooth as a temporary symbol and asked Haley to marry him via a poster crafted for the occasion by Wonders of Wildlife staff. I for sure wasn't expecting the proposal to happen while we're in our Speedos, Haley said. I was not at all expecting it to be an underwater proposal. He used to always say he'll do it when the time is right. I did not know that was what he meant, but it just kind of made sense for us. I mean, we made a promise to each other that whenever it rains, we'd go outside and dance in the rain. And they are underwater in their special suits, and he has a sign that says, "Will you marry me?" And she has a sign that says, "I said yes." Besides the sharks that witnessed the proposal, Balasa arranged for Haley's family to make the 10-hour drive and join the couple during the special occasion. The family was able to witness and celebrate the proposal from the exhibit's viewing area. That's above and beyond. Well done. That was not the only way that he put extra thought into the special occasion. The engagement ring includes diamonds from Haley's grandmother's ring and her late brother's birthstone with some of his ashes set behind it. I could just tell how much he takes note of how important my family is to me. We not only do really exciting, cool new things, but we also still get to have a semblance of home, even though we were hours and hours away from home. And pictured is the lovely ring with a shark tooth underneath it for the engagement process underwater. Though the couple has been engaged for only a month, preparations are already well underway for the wedding. Since the two were already sure that they would tie the knot prior to the underwater engagement, they already have a venue booked and are working on sending out their save the dates. Haley has already picked out the dress, too, with stars aligning before she even knew the proposal was happening. Before setting out on the Midwest road trip, she had seen a local wedding dress shop having a holiday giveaway promotion and booked a visit for December 20th, unable to pass on the deal. That same day, just 5 days after saying yes to his proposal, she also said yes to the dress. As wedding planning ramps up, the couple told the News-Leader the water theme will remain the engagement memories, and the wedding will instead have a night under the stars in tune with another hobby of theirs, stargazing. Still, the week traveling and eventually leading up to the engagement will be a part of the wedding. The couple bought games and playing cards at nearly every stop along the way, and for their wedding, they said they will incorporate the cards writing anecdotes of the memories made along the way to share with their loved ones.
Alrighty, our next story is by 417 Mag, and it is about a person in our community. His name is Randy Berger, and he works as an administrative director of corporate communications at Cox Health. What you may not know about him is that he's been to 59 Metallica concerts. And there we have a photo of Mr. Randy Berger. It looks like he is on an elevated platform and wearing a tour shirt from 2009, and he is taking a picture in front of the stage waiting for the band. In 1996, Randy Berger attended his first Metallica concert, and he hasn't looked back since. I got really into them at the middle school age, Berger says. I got lucky with a band that has this kind of longevity. Berger saw the group live for the first time in college and was immediately hooked. They had a tour my sophomore year at Drury, and we went to see Metallica, Berger says. That pretty much sold me. Fast forward to the present, Berger now works as administrative director of corporate communications at Cox Health and has seen 59 of the band's concerts and has even been in the Snake Pit. Burger encourages anybody thinking about going to a concert to give it a try because it will elevate your interest and love for the band. However, if you do go, his parting words of wisdom are to invest in earplugs. You will not regret having a little bit of hearing protection Burger jokes. And I agree with that statement. And speaking of metal, on this day in 1982, Black Sabbath frontman Ozzy Osbourne bit the head off a bat during a concert in Iowa.
Brew 21 Extra Chromosome Coffee is serving up coffee inside of the Upside Down Mercantile starting January 17th at 209 West Commercial Street. Their grand opening included free donuts with the purchase of a drink along with karaoke, according to the Facebook post. The coffee shop will be open when the Upside Down Mercantile is, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday. Brew 21 serves up classic espresso drinks as well as baked goods. And it is by a couple with a son named Wyatt with Down syndrome, and it employs people with disabilities as well as non-disabilities. Whitney and Chris Justice started Brew 21 as a mobile coffee truck in 2023, with the name being a reference to their son Wyatt's Down syndrome. People with Down syndrome are born with an extra copy of chromosome 21 rather than a pair, which can impact brain and body development, resulting in physical and mental differences, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The coffee shop and truck employs Wyatt as well as other people with disabilities. Commercial Street Cafe debuts alpha-gal syndrome-friendly menu. Oh, that's nice. Folks with alpha-gal syndrome, a potentially life-threatening food allergy to red meat and animal products that often manifest after a tick bite, have a new place they can eat at without fear, Van Gogh's Eatery, 334 East Commercial Street. The restaurant is open 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, and 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sunday. According to an Instagram post, the menu includes both breakfast items as well as lunch and dinner items, all of which avoid ingredients that trigger allergic reactions in those with alpha-gal syndrome. The restaurant asks that those with dietary restrictions or allergies let their server know before ordering. Items include an egg scramble with sautéed mushrooms, tomatoes, and arugula with chips and a side of fruit, a house salad with greens, cucumber, tomato, red bell pepper, and pesto or house vinaigrette with the option to add chicken or shrimp, sautéed salmon fillet or shrimp with a choice of 2 alpha-gal friendly sides like sautéed carrots, fries, and fruit, and hummus with carrots, celery, and chips. According to the Mayo Clinic, alpha-gal syndrome causes mild to intense allergies to red meat like beef, pork, or lamb, as well as reactions to foods that come from mammals like dairy products or gelatin. The only treatment for alpha-gal syndrome is not to eat meats or products that trigger the potentially life-threatening reactions.
My mom actually has alpha-gal, and some advice I can give to others is to check what ingredients go in your medication. A lot of people don't think of that. You don't know what ingredients are in your medication. She eventually found out her heart medication was what was causing her to continue to get rashes and illnesses. It's not fun. As well, she also works in a place where she shares a lunchroom, or break room rather, and people who cook pork in the microwave, even the molecules that puts out can disturb her. So just little pieces of advice that I can give to others. We're always learning more about this disease. But we do thank you for listening to the Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service, and you can tune in every week, Monday through Friday, on the Blind Community Thrift Store's YouTube channel at 10 a.m. for more up-to-date news from the Springfield News-Leader, the Springfield Daily Citizen, and the Springfield Business Journal, as well as the 417 magazine. You can listen after we are live on the Audio Reader Network at www.reader.ku.edu. All broadcasts are played over KSMU's subcarrier airwaves at 67 kilohertz on 91.1 from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Contact Audio Reader Network for information on receiving a pre-programmed radio. And we do appreciate you all listening in today.